What's up guys, today we're gonna continue with our YouTube clone, and today we will probably just be styling the different buttons we created before in the previous video, and also possibly be creating a new drop-down for the last button as well. But we will see if we actually get to that. So yeah, let's start. So we got to this point on the last video, and today we will essentially code this the rest of the code. So what we want to do is essentially style the different drop-downs, and since they are different in some ways, they will have different class names and so on. So let's type .upload video, and it's gonna be done up here. .upload dash video. For some reason it won't. Wait. Okay, interesting. That's weird. Let's copy. For some reason my keyboard doesn't want to do dash. It's super weird. Wait. That's dot. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna unplug this keyboard real quick. Okay, let's see now if we... Yeah, okay, so it's some bug in my software in my keyboard. Never mind that. So instead of this, we want to type upload.dash-video, just like that, or just like that. And inside of here, we want to have essentially nothing else but upload video item. And I think we haven't created this yet either. No. So we will first of all style the different components, and then I will create the layouts as well. But let's start with this. So this should be padding 15 pixels. We also want to have a border radius, which is going to be 1 rem. We also want to have a display flex here. And we also want to have align items center, and for some reason this is typed wrong. Align items, just like that. Okay. And we also want to have a cursor, which is gonna be pointer. Okay, and we also want to style the icon, which we have inside. This is going just to have a margin right, so we're gonna push the icon from the text 0.5 rem, just like that. And we also want to have a hover effect on this upload video item, so we can just copy this whole line of code here. And I probably didn't get the dot here, so yeah. And this is gonna be colon hover, since we want to create an hover effect. And the background color is going to be it's going to be an RGB color, which is gonna take in 248, 248, 248, 48, not 38, 48, 248, just like that. This should be a bit darker white. Now I haven't included this in the original code, but I also want to have a transition here, so the hover effect is going to be small, and this is going to be 0.2 seconds, and it's going to be ease in and out. So yeah, that's basically the upload video container. Now I want to do the notifications. So you can type .notifications, just like that. And inside of here we want to have display flex. We can also go and just check our browser to see if something changed. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have a hover effect with a lighter gray here, and the icon is in fact pushing the text to the right, so that's completely fine. Also here, nothing has changed, but we're currently working on it. So the code is essentially working, and it looks a lot cleaner. So let's go back to the VS Code and continue. So here we want our flex direction, direction of column, and beneath this we want to type dot notifications. We can type that, and then dash header. And inside of here we want to have a width of 20 view width. We also want to have display flex, and also have justify content space between. And inside of here we also have a header icon. So we're gonna header dash icon actually, and this should just be should just have cursor pointer. So when we hover the icon, the cursor will in fact be a pointer. And if we go over to our browser again, just a quickie, you guys can see that if I go here and hover our notification, it doesn't happen because we haven't created. I think we haven't created the. We have actually. Interesting. Let's do this then. Let's copy this here and just make sure that we got all the. Yeah. I just typed the CSS classes wrong. That's my bad. Just like that, and this should be header icon. So now it should be working. So let's go over to our browser and just check if so as you guys can see, it's styled a bit differently or different, and when I hover the icon, it in fact is a pointer on the cursor. So that's working. So yeah, if we go back to yeah, I think that's correct. So inside of here we want to style the line, and it just dot line, and here we want to have a border top. You could also do border bottom, that's totally up to you. Solid, and this should be gray, just like that. And we also want to have a margin here, which is gonna be 5 pixels and 0. So now if we go over to our browser here, you guys can see that we have in fact a line here. And this is, I think I have to increase the size of the notification header. That's fine. I can do that right now actually. So here's the width, but we should also, I think we should have the width here as well. So if we go and check our browser right now, again, that didn't work. Okay, let's see why. So in here we have notification header, and for some reason, maybe it isn't. Do notification header. Let's see. Is this really wrong? I don't think this is wrong. Let's see. It's not. Okay, interesting. Okay, we can obviously remove this. Because if we check the notification here, it doesn't have a width, but it should have. Maybe I can just do this instead. Wait, if we go and check our drop-down name here, what is the width here? It's max content. What is the max content? Okay, this have in fact 20. Oh, the reason why this is this width is wrong is because of this image here. So we will fix that later. That's totally fine. Okay, so everything is actually as it should be, and that's really good. So beneath this line here, we want to type notification header or container, I mean, just like that. And inside of here we want to have a width, which should be 100%, and we also want to have this height, which should be max-content. We also want to have display flex here, and flex direction should be column. Just like that, nice. And then we want to do the scroll dash wrap, and instead of here we want to have width, which should be 100%, and width is spelled wrong here, width, just like that. And we also want to have a height of 100%, and we also want to have flex 1. This will essentially push everything to the bottom. And we want to have overflow y out over here, so this will make us able to scroll. Now we want to style the different divs inside of here, which is the individual item. So this blue dot here, which we're gonna create, is essentially just a div with background color, which is going to be blue, with a width and height of 10 pixels. The background color should be blue, obviously, and the border radius here should be 100%. And that's about it. So if we go and check out on our browser right now, you guys will probably see a blue dot. If we might not have included that. That's pretty weird. Let's go and check here. Header. We have in fact blue dot here with a class name. So that's pretty much So notification is it is in fact in notification. So we're gonna copy this and just type it here, dot notification, and simply just copy paste this inside of here, just like that. And if we head over to our browser right now, we should have a blue dot somewhere. Not really interesting. So if we check here, we have scroll wrapper here, and then we have a div with notification, and then a blue dot, and then channel icon, text container. You know, let's style the rest of this and then see if everything is right. Okay, so we can actually style this notification already. The width is going to be 100%. We also want to have display flex here. We also want to have align item center, and we also want to have flex direction, which is going to be row, direction, which is going to be row, just like that. Nice. And we also want to have justify justify dash content, which is going to be space dash between, just like that. The cursor here is gonna be on pointer, and we also want to add a transition, which is gonna correlate to the hover effect we're gonna add later. And this is gonna be 0.2 seconds and is in and out. And we also want to add a border radius or border dash radius, which is going to be 1 rem here. Yeah, so let's go and check how this looks. It looks a bit nicer. We have our border radius here. As you guys can see, we can remove this inspector here. The reason why the width is not correlating to what we have typed is essentially this big image. We can fix that right now if we want to, and I might just do that. Everything looks decent at the moment. And as you guys can see, if you guys can see a scroll bar here, which we can't touch at the moment, but we can scroll. And if I remove this, we don't have a scroll bar up here. So it's quite fascinating how it works. Anyways, so let's go back to our VS Code here. And you know what? Let's do the image. the width on the image is going to be 100 pixels, and the height is also going to be 100 pixels. And we also want to have object fit, which is going to be contain actually, not covered this time. And this should not be in caps, so that's nice. And for some reason it is not working. Maybe it is because it's inside notification. I spelled that right, and it's inside scroll wrapper, which should also be spelled correctly. Okay, interesting. Let's see. If we type notification header here and search for it, do we have one? Notification container. We don't. Okay, so that's really interesting. This container here should not be there. So what we can do is essentially just copy or do that instead. And if we go here now, that's the thing. Okay, so now everything is actually working. So that's my bad, guys. We should not have a notification here, but as you guys can see, it's a bit smaller, and you guys can see title, notification content, and etc. Also, the thumbnail and the 3 dots here, the width is in fact right. And yeah, so this is working. We're gonna just finish off with a last bit of code, and then we're done here. So obviously we don't want this to be inside notification either. We actually want this to be outside. I don't think it really matters, to be honest, because if we change that, nothing changes in the display. And if we actually go and check on the structure here, it should actually be inside of notification. So I will actually have it back here, because this shows the structure a lot better. And we have done the blue dot. I'm just gonna check if this is in fact correct with the class names. I think it is. Yeah, and the blue dot as well is inside of notifications, so that's really good. Okay, so let's do the channel icon then. So it's just dot channel icon, channel or dot channel dash icon actually. And inside of here we want to have a width, which is going to be 50 pixels. We want to have a height of 50 pixels as well. The background color is going to be gray. And the border radius should be 100% here. Just like that. And if we go and check in our browser, you guys can see we have actually the channel here. So yeah, that's working. Nice. And we also want to have a notification hover effect, so we can go and copy this line of code here, just like that, and type :hover. And inside of here we want to have a background color, which is gonna be RGB color code, and this is gonna be 240, 240, so that should be fine, I think. And if we go and check in our browser now, when we hover, we actually get an effect, but the blue dot here is not showing for some reason, so we will check that. Okay, so if we go back to VS Code here, the blue dot here is 10 pixels. That's correct. The color should be blue, and the border radius should be 100%. So if we go over here, we have a blue dot here, and it's inside of notification. And I think the class name is in fact spelled right. Okay, that's interesting. That should be working actually. Okay, let's skip that for now and go back to it later. so don't worry about it, guys. Now we want to do something else. So what we can do now is, since we are done with notifications, we can just collapse that and start with our user menu. And we haven't created that yet, so we'll do that later. But we will get the CSS done here right now. So it's gonna be dot top dash bar, and the width here is going to be 15 view width. We also want to have a height, height of 7 view height. We also want to have display flex here, and we want to have align items center, and we want to have justify content to be we actually don't want that, Jesus. We actually want to have position relative here. Relative. So inside of here we want to have or outside of the top bar we want to essentially create the channel icon here. And inside of this we want to have width, which is going to be 50 pixels. We also want to have a height of 50 pixels. We want to have the background color, which is going to be gray. And the border radius should be 100%. We also want to have position absolute here. Absolute, and we also want to have top 10% and also left 10%, I think. Yeah, that's very nice. And now we want to create another styling for another div. So this is going to be .user -menu -top -container. And inside of here we want to have a display flex. We also want to have flex direction column. We want to have align items center. We want to have justify content. I'm always spelling that wrong, and this should be flex -start. We also want to have the width to be 23 view width. For some reason I've typed view height. That should not be correct. Either way. And the height should be max content. And the top should be 0 and the right should be 0. That should be it for the user menu, or the top of the user menu. And inside of user menu, let's see. We actually want to have a line as well, so it should be .line. And here I actually showed you another version of it. It doesn't really matter, you can use both. You can either use border top or border bottom. It doesn't really matter. This should be 1 pixel, which is going to be gray and solid as well. And outside of this line, we want to have .user -menu -item, since we will have different items. And the width here should be 100%. We also want to have height of max content. We also want to have a padding of 0.25 rem. We want to have display flex here. And we want to have justify content, which is gonna be flex start as well. And we want to have a cursor dash pointer, or actually not dash, should be colon pointer. And we want to have a transition here as well. So transition, which is going to be 0.2 seconds, is in and out, just like that. And now we want to style the p tag, which should be just having a margin dash left, which is gonna be 1 rem. And since we added a transition here, we want to also add a hover effect to this line of code. So we just copy that line of code and type colon hover, and then just change the background color to RGB color code, which is going to be 241, comma 241, comma 241. And that should be it. We can also add a semicolon here as well. So let's go back to our browser, and you probably should not see any changes when I press this channel button because we haven't created the layout for it yet, but we can actually do that next time because it's quite a lot of code, and we also have to create a new JS file. But we can try to fix this blue dot thing that's going on. So let's do that. So the blue dot is essentially inside of the we can collapse this and open notification, and the blue dot is essentially in notification here. So that should be working. We know that this code is working. We know that all of this code is working. So this should also work. But the reason why it's not working is because I've typed width 2 times. This should be height. So if we change that and go back to our browser, you guys can see a blue dot. Now I find this blue dot quite big, so I will probably change that a bit. Since we have 10 pixels here, let's try like 7 pixels. This might be too small, but we can try to see what happens. So if we go over to our browser again, we will see a smaller blue dot, then this looks actually fine. I might also want to add some margin left to this as well. And this should be like, I can add like 10 pixels. Yeah. That looks a lot better, actually. So if we hover this, we can see that we have a little bit of space here. We can scroll this, we can go over to all the different drop-downs as well. So this works as fine. We can also hover this, and this is working. We have hover effects on everything, and the only thing that's left is essentially creating the layout for the user menu, but we will do that next time. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please, if you guys enjoyed this video, then great for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it and liked it. If you learned something about the CSS or React, something new, and you just improved your own fundamental knowledge, then great, that's all I want. And yeah, have a great night guys, and Happy New Year, and thank you for watching.